Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How everyone doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing good. It's been a few days since my last live. I wanted to come in and do a live today. So much stuff going on. I was doing a couple of research today, the last few days actually. Been doing a lot of research. Let me see. Is this episode 21? Is it episode 22? Actually, this is episode 22. Let me edit this. That is episode 22, not 21. 22. 22. Yeah, boy. Episode 22. Let me see. Is it going to change? I don't even know if it's going to change. Let me see. If you. Yeah, it changed from here. All right, why don't I maybe I should do it this way instead. Let me do it this way. Let me lower this. Oh, sorry, I actually need the ringer on. Want to lower the volume. Oh, it looks different. Oh, let me do this. Cancel. Okay, good. All right. Take a picture. Smile. Yeah, still on. And let me go in here, add that I am on live. I am on live. I'm going to share that I'm on live on social media. Breakout, Dion Sanders. Every time I open up, oh, that's right. Every time I open up the app, somebody is breaking up. Deion Sanders and Tracy Edmonds have broken up. Everybody's breaking up, huh? As hard as relationship is, do you blame anybody for breaking up? It's crazy. This relationship out here in this world is like really, really cuckoo for cocoa for someone to tell you. So anyway, I'm going to put this on my. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Put it on. I'm trying to put this on my story. All right. I think this is this it? No. All right. Let's see. I am going to. Sorry, guys. Taking forever to do this, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to share this that I'm on live right now. On live now. Now, what I normally do is I share the YouTube. All right. I try to do my live late so that just in case if people have stuff to do. All right, let's see. I'm on live now. Excellent. And I will share. Okay, excellent. And then I'll put it on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. After all this time, I still do. There's so much to talk about today. Give me 1 second. Wait 1 second. I'll be right there. I'm back. All right, let's put this on Twitter or X or whatever they want to call it. Then I am all going on live. And then we could talk live now on YouTube. There we go. Did they even allow this? Yeah, probably. They probably will. Okay. What I did is I actually added a casino video. I hope that people would go and check it out. Well, I posted finally after a while. I posted a video of Mom and I at the casino and stuff like that. It's so difficult to play in the casino in New York. They want to block people from filming. I have to figure that out, how I'm actually going to continue, because really what I want to actually do is actually play. I love doing these lives, but I also love playing slots. So I'm really trying to go to the casino, fill out slot play, and become a content creator as far as that. So there's a lot of things to talk about. As I said, I'm sorry. Normally it takes me a little while to get going because I want to share that I'm on live and stuff like that. So as you can see, the untimely death of Shakir Stewart. I actually want to talk about this story, Shakir Stewart. I actually didn't know anything about this story whatsoever until I started doing some deep dives. Let me make notes. I like to make notes once I get to another name. So let me put another name on my chart. I have this chart going. I have this chart going right here with notes and stuff like that. So I want to put them in the person, the young man. His name's Shakir Stewart. So I want to start with Shakir Stewart, and I guess I'm going to work my way backwards. So let's talk about who Shakir Stewart is. Let's go to Wikipedia real quick so we could talk about who this is. A lot of people may know Shakir, but we're going to be going back and forth because this time I want to talk about Shakir, and then after that we're going to go back to the main person this is about. So let's go to share. We love to share things, right? So this is Shakir Stewart, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name, who was born on April 12, 1974. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Born on April 12, 1974, passed away November 1st, 2008. He was a native of California. He was also, unfortunately, he was a Def Jam executive who unfortunately took his own life due to suicide. There's been a lot of controversy about his death throughout the years. Some of his people, and we're going to look at some of the clips that I found, some of the lives that I found, to see that some people are saying that he did not commit suicide, that that's a cover-up. And the most important part of this is the fact that he said before he passed away, according to the people that was there, according to his wife, that he became like unhinged, and he started talking about how he was being taped and recorded and bugged, and he was being followed. So that led to an entire breakdown in his personality and his psyche, and he ended up committing suicide. Now, how do I get to Shakir Stewart? I've been watching the story of obviously of P Diddy and Cassie. Everybody know that I did several lives about that. I'm still trying to figure out what's going to actually happen to Diddy, because some people have, some companies have removed, like Macy removed his product. The school that he was partnership separated their relationship. He stepped down from Revolt, which of course, again, I mentioned before, I didn't know how many people was actually involved with Revolt, but he stepped down as chairman. So different things have happened, but things have kind of slowed down, I think, and some people said that they believe that he could probably ride the storm and come out the other side if he just stayed quiet, because there is 2 additional lawsuit against him though that's out there, so he's going to have to go through that. But other than that, after the first few hurrah and anger and anguish, it seemed kind of quiet now, especially since he actually stepped down from Revolt. I actually haven't seen anything. I looked the past couple of days and I haven't seen anything else that's going on with Diddy. However, there is a content creator in particular who is determined to make Diddy life a living hell. And I watch that content creator all the time. And the content creator is Sean Davy Wave. So let's look at Sean Davy Wave channel for just a little bit. Let me see if I can go in there. I have a lot of things open, so hopefully it won't slow everything down. So now I'm going to the YouTube. Hold on. Yes, we know. We know you were very young. All right. Sean Davy Wave. Right. Let me see. Let's go to the screen. This is Sean Davy Way channel. As you can see, Sean Davy Way is going in on Diddy, and he has said that he is going to continue to go in on Diddy until I don't know, until he goes to jail maybe, or until he suffer the consequences. He is done. Apparently, Sean Davy Way did an actual show on Cassie, many years ago. Apparently, he did something on Cassie many years ago that got him some views, but a lot of people at the time thought that he was doing too much, according to his understanding, because he felt at the time that something was going on, something was kind of weird with the relationship between Diddy and Cassie. I keep saying her name, Cassie. I'll say Casey. I keep apologies for saying her name wrong. Every time I say Casey, somebody say Cassie. Every time I say Cassie, somebody say Casey. I should listen to see how her name is said. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna play it, and then once I get how her name is said, then I will talk about it. But anyway, Casey. Let's just say Casey. So he did a documentary of live about Casey years ago, and he said it got some views, but also it got a lot of pushback. So as a result of that, he, I guess he became known with that. And then when the lawsuit happened with Diddy, I guess it became a validation of everything that he said. And also, he at one time had a frenemy relationship. He says not frenemy. He said it's more business with Jaguar Wright, who's been really on these guys behind as far as exposing all or the stories that she says is her truth, right? The stories about the industry and stories about them. So she's been talking about them for a while. So he had like a business sort of relationship with her where she would come on the live and she would talk about it and stuff like that. And he supported her idea of telling the truth. And now he is pretty much livid about the lawsuit with Cassie. Sorry. For some reason I keep saying Casey. It's Cassie. Anyway, forgive me. I will get it right one day. So let's stop from Cassie to something. Let's see what her name is. Hold on a second. Hold on. So let's continue. But we're going to listen to several videos that have a name. So anyway, they talked about her, and then he started talking about Kim Porter, and how Kim Porter died. The whole situation, as far as Diddy with Sean Davy Way, is that he wants to see justice, right? So he wants to see justice against Diddy for all the stuff that he said Diddy done. So I started watching him. I started watching Cassandra. You see, and I really was touched by the lawsuit, because I felt that the lawsuit that Cassandra wrote really rang true to me, right? The stories that were said. So I'm listening to it, and I'm reading the stories, and I'm watching this gentleman talk about the cases and stuff like that. And then I started listening with, not with just interest in the story, but I just started listening to all the other different interviews that's been coming out lately besides Sean Davy Ways. I started listening to some of the stuff that King Payne had to say, but then I went to Gene Deal, who Queen's Flip interviewed many years ago, who talked about what happened with Puffy and Biggie. Gene Deal blamed Puffy for Diddy's demise. Then I saw Mark. I think, is it Mark? Mark interview this week. Okay. I think it's Mark Curry interview this week. And I just started really going down this whole rabbit hole. And so I go from Sean Davy Wave, then I get into Gene Deal, and I started listening to all the clips with Gene Deal, everything he started saying, and all these different stories. And then Ja Rule became involved, and Russell Simmons became involved, and Will Smith in some way became involved. All these different guys just started coming to these stories, and when you start listening to all these stories, your mind could just become unraveled, because so many people are interwoven, interconnected, right? So that's how it started. So then today, I didn't want to continuously repeat the same thing that everybody is talking about when it comes to Diddy. Mace ran away from Diddy. You have Jaguar Wright says that that Diddy is a concubine. You have Bentley F. Worth. They talk about that relationship. Then you talk about how Kimora was involved because Diddy wanted to slap her up. All of these are notes that I'm reading, right? And all of this started because, or at least most of it started because of the adult survivor assault bill. And then on Instagram, they talked about approximately, and I'm going to show this real quick. Let me bring this up. Hold on. I want to show this really quickly. All right, because I don't want to get kicked out. So let me show you guys. I did believe it was Shade Room that did a quick clip right here. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted it to be over.
In the days leading up to Thanksgiving, something major was happening in New York. Big names in the entertainment industry hit with sex abuse lawsuits dating back decades.
People don't have to.
All right, so you can see, right? Now it's called the Adult Abuse Survivor Act. Adult Abuse Survivor Act. 3,000 lawsuits took place. So that's what opened up this whole can of worm, this whole can of kick behind from a lot of the political leaders and a lot of the stars, including a rock star. And there's over 3,000 lawsuits out there. So we can't even imagine what is out there. Right now, they're just picking on the big names like Puff and, like Steve, and then like Jamie. They're picking up all these big names that have all these allegations that's coming out, right? So I'm looking, and again, I'm just paying attention. I was extremely interested in the story. And then you have Aaron Hall talking about Jodeci and P Diddy. They together was part of engage in and I guess freakouts, I guess it's called. And he was saying that you need to, that's Aaron Hall. There's a video of Aaron Hall saying you need to check the Jodeci and P Diddy and they'll tell you my size and stuff like that. So he was talking about that. And then I think his either his ex-wife or baby mom came out saying her, she was young when she started dealing with him. It's just a whole lot of stuff. I mean, like literally, it just became a lot, right? So I took a few days off and I'm like, okay, everybody have the story all together. And then I went into Twitter and then I started seeing other crazy, insane stories out there that not too many people are really talking about, that we really should talk about, to be honest with you. Like, for example, the Kristen Ziegler and his wife, right? I think it's Kristen Ziegler and his wife. They are part of an organization called Moms of Liberty. These freaks, and I'm going to call them freaks because they've been after people forever. I mean, they're trying to change the way our kids think in schools. They're trying to talk about how the Democrats are pedophilia. They go in so many different things. So many. Oh, this is the recording. Hold on a second. I'm going to play this in a few minutes. Right? There's so many things about these people that a lot of people are not even talking about. So first of all, let's go here because I want to get into this story a little bit. Because let's take it away from entertainment for a second, and let's talk about the politicking. Okay, let's talk about the politicking for just a minute, and then I'm going to come back to how I got into Mr. Stewart's story. But I just want to, before I go into that, I really want to go back a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the latest. Okay, so, he won't resign. Okay, good. Let him stay. So, a lot of this have to do with R, right? Apparently, his wife, Bridget Ziegler, who is one of the founding women, I believe, a Mom for Liberty, which is an insane cultist white supremacist group who wants to do away with anything that's not white driven, right? They don't believe in books. They don't believe in LGBTQ community. They really don't believe in anything. Oh, it looks like Joe is trending again. What did Job do this time? I didn't get a chance to look at the latest episode. So, whenever Joe is trending, I'm sure it's interesting. So I'll take a look at it later. But anyway, so Florida GOP chairperson. So he's a Florida GOP chairman. Kristen Ziegler said he has no intention of stepping down after a woman accused him of the R word, right? So apparently him and his wife are freaks. I am not one to disrespect anyone who has freak tendencies, who like to do different things in their bedroom. It's not my business. It's like everybody else. I won't shame a freak. A freak is a freak, right? Especially if you're sexual into all kinds of different things. So it's not even called a freak anymore. It's called like sexual liberation. But this guy, apparently, according to the story, he had a three-way with his wife and a single woman, I think a mother, but she's single. And they had a three-way with this woman. And she, let me see if I can get her name. When I'm telling the story, she was, let me see, she filed a report with the Sarasota police in early October, claiming that Kristen Ziegler had come to her apartment and R her after a planned threesome A planned threesome between the victim and the couple fell through after Bridget Ziegler became busy at the last moment. So they had a threesome with this woman. Apparently, the Bridget, who the lady actually liked better than the husband, right, couldn't do the threesome at the last minute, so she canceled, and he ended up going to her house, according to the report, standing outside her house. When she opened the door to go take the dogs out, walk the dog, he apparently broke into her room and started and her, right? The woman was so devastated, according to the report, that she stayed inside her house for days because she was scared. And one of her friends now, who actually was concerned about her, called the police to have them do a check on her, like a goodwill check. And that's where I'm gonna play a little bit of that recording that I got. And apparently they had a consensual relationship for years, right? The co-founder and husband, Christopher GP, who recently accused her, had been in a consensual three-way relationship for years. Wow. They've been in a consensual relationship for years with this woman, and just because the woman said no for one night because she really liked the wife more than him, he felt the need in his rabbit mind. He felt that he had the right to go to this woman's house, according to the story. I wasn't there. That's alleged, to take it because he felt that he had that right. So anyway, the friend now was so concerned about the lady that is the victim, because I guess she spoke to her and she just was scared to leave the house, and she was drinking and everything like that. That he said that he will not, that she sounded like she was not completely there. She scared her friend, so a friend called the cops, right? Call 911. So let's play a little bit of the recording, because I saved the recording. Hold on one second. The 911. Let's see. Let's share it so you guys could hear this craziness. Let's see. I'm going to play a little bit of it because I don't know how much I could play without getting in trouble, because YouTube is I forgot to put this on. I have to keep an eye on YouTube to make sure they don't shut me down. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure I have YouTube open. Make sure I'm still on. I'm still live. Am I still live? Yes. Okay, here we go.
Wednesday, October 4, 2023, 14:46 and 22 seconds.
911, what's the location of the emergency?
I was hoping to do a wellness on a friend of mine. She hasn't shown up for work the past 2 days, and I just got off the phone with her, and she sounds drunk, and I know that she has pain medication on her, and she told me that she doesn't think she can do it anymore.
Okay, what is the address?
Hold on, she just texted it to me.
Of course, they didn't share the address, so they cut that piece off.
What city is this in?
What was that?
What city is this in?
Sarasota.
What unit?
Sarasota. So she told
And what's the name of the complex?
Oh, crap.
But you don't know. That's okay, ma'am.
Okay, I think.
Okay, what is the phone number you're calling from?
She gave the phone
my
number
phone number
of where her friends is.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
Now she goes to tell exactly what happened.
This friend of mine, she has struggled with addiction for a while, and it's just gotten worse and worse. A couple months, but she's telling me she won't talk to anyone else. She won't answer anyone else at work except for me. But she told me she was raped yesterday.
All right. So, sorry, YouTube. I didn't bleep that. Hopefully, YouTube will bleep that. So apparently, so now you got the story. So she was R yesterday, right? Let's see if we can hear a little bit more of the story.
And then she's scared to leave her house. I told her that I was going to come pick her up and we could take her to the ER, but I'm scared that her issues would just.
And now today she's saying she can't do it anymore?
Yes.
All right, so you guys heard that. So she was odd the day before. So this was take the day before, the day after she was. So her friend, the co-worker, called to check in on her, and she said that she can't do it anymore and stuff like that. She's been drinking. So the friend called the cops to go and do a wellness check. I believe, based on the story, that the cops actually did take her to went to see her, and then they took her to do a wellness check, and then the woman ended up doing a police report. And the freak that actually allegedly did that to her was this guy, Kristen Ziegler, whose wife is the and here's the funny thing about this group, this mom's group, is now considered like a white supremacist cult terrorist group by some, because they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Now, no one wants to get into people's bedroom, right? Like they want to get into LGBTQ community bedroom. They want to get into transgender. They are preaching the Holy Ghost against everybody across the world. But these freaks, these hypocrites, who out here sexing everything in the world, who having threesome and doing all kind of freaky, nasty things, wants to disrespect the household of everybody else, right? But here's the thing. Even if you're a freak and you're an asshole and you're a jerk and you're a terrorist and you're a white supremacist and you're all of that combined in one, and you definitely a mega who support Donald Trump, even if you're all that, you have to think about what's the mental childishness, the mental deformity of somebody to think that a woman say no to you one day because she is into your wife more than you. She didn't say that she won't do it again. She just said, hey, let's wait another time. And you think in your mind that you have the nerve and audacity, total audacity, to go to her house and take it, according to the report. Now, this freak, this Florida GOP chairman, refused to resign. And then a lot of his people are supporting him and saying people should not, be concerned about his and his wife's sex life. It's just the irony of these Caucasian type people. Not all Caucasian people are like that, but these type of mega Caucasian Republican GOP skanks just amaze me with the audacity of their behavior. The guy and the woman that you support is being accused of assaulting another, I believe, Caucasian person that you should care about, but yet you care about your political standing. And they're total hypocrites, because there's nothing like you say the rest of us are garbage, but you guys are all clean and wonderful. And he's such a wonderful, and his wife is such a wonderful epitome of white loving, household loving, wonderful relationship. And they're freaking out. They're freaks. But anyway, so I started seeing that story, and I was like, damn, these, and I've been hearing a lot of these stories lately. These people are out of pocket. So then I remember the Liberty Universal, Falwell. Falwell is Jerry Falwell. Apparently his father was pretty majorly well known, I think, and he helped build the Liberty University, right? Before he had to resign as president among a sex scandal. Let's see this story right here. Again, I was pretty much, there was a lot of different stories about P. Diddy, and I'm on Twitter just looking, and I just started seeing a lot of this other stuff coming out. I'm like, yo, Jerry Falwell Jr. built Liberty University up before resigning as president amid a sex scandal. Now he's banned from campus and locked in conflict with the institute his father founded. This is the freak right here. This one right here. His story started, people started paying attention to him because there was a picture of him on a boat with a wine glass, I believe. This freak right here. And the wine glass, I think that's how the story showed. Hold on, let me see if I can feel. Among 2020, legislative forced to resign in 2020. His former underling denounced him as a sinner. They denounced him, but I think they found out because was it? I don't want to. I want to make sure I don't get kicked out. But I think he was on a yacht. In a yacht, he was taking a picture with this woman, and his pants, his zipper was down, and her zipper was down. And the picture, I think that's what started it. And then it turned out, then other people started after that picture. That's when the other someone came and accused him of sexual battery, sexual impropriety. That's another one. I'm just looking at the story. You know, his wife was involved. His wife had an affair with somebody named Granda. These guys are freaks, man. A Miami pool attendant who went into business. They had a long relationship with Becky Felwell, and her husband approved. I just can't with these freaks, man. I'm telling you. I can't with these freaks. And there's so many different stories like this. We're paying attention to to the entertainers. We need to start paying attention to these Caucasian people who are in the political party. And whether they're Caucasian or black or whatever, we need to start paying attention to the political people that's running in politics that have these stories, that have these lawsuits coming out against them. We need to start paying attention because everyone wants to talk about, their opposing opponents' stories, right? This is politics, right? So you will have Republicans talking about how Democrats are doing this and that, and Democrats are talking about how Republicans are doing that. This is the natural nature of things as far as politics. You're going to dig up stuff. You're going to talk dirty. You're going to, get, because you want to win. That's all it's about. When there are actual cases out there where there is a court case and people are submitting police reports and people have to go to trial, or people are in trial right now and people have won their trial against their sexual predator, those stories need to be brought out. Those stories need to be talked about. Those stories need to be used to force these people out of politics. Whoever it is. There's been a lot of Democratic people who actually had pictures taken, who actually made inappropriate jokes, who's been called out and who has resigned. But when it comes to the GOP, they just sitting in there and they be like, and their people support him like, oh, well, he could grab me. Oh, he could do this. Oh, it's his business. It's her business. It's none of your business. But whereas they're all coming out and looking at everybody else's business and making a big deal. So anyway, those are the things that was going on this week. I was watching. I'm like, yo, these freaks are coming out. Wow. And there's somebody called Mercedes. That person been talking about Shalap, probably not pronouncing the name right. That's another one. Mercedes Shalap, husband Matt Shalap, the first generation Caribbean American born in Florida. She is married to Matt Shalap, the chair of the Americans Conservative Union. They have 5 daughters. Let's take a look at a picture. Look at this freak right here. This freak right here with 5 daughters. This is the freak. Look at this one. Former White House political director with the American Conservative Union. Let's take a look at this freak. Wikipedia. Look at the freak. Let's go down. Sexual allegation in January 2023. Campaign staffer Herschel Walker, U.S. Senate campaign, alleges that Shalap groped him in October 2022 after Shalap had been drinking. Shalap, I can't pronounce his name. Shalap denied the allegation. The alleged victim has filed charges against Shalap for battery and defamation. The plaintiff has provided records of contemporary phone calls and texts regarding the claim. Not only have this fool, here's the thing. He's a conservative. Now, you know the conservative is completely against the LGBTQ community. Oh my God, you know that. You can't be gay in America with those people. But then this freak is filling up a young man who was doing his job. And then had the nerve to talk about sending him texts and stuff and apologizing. And according, if I remember the story, apologizing and hoping that this doesn't come out. And, you know, it was a misunderstanding. And apparently, according to that young man, he did say he had support from Herschel Walker's campaign. He did say he got support. That was a good thing. He said that they removed him from being the guy driver and no one shamed him or anything like that. But they weren't, I'm sure they didn't want the story to come out. So you have this freak here. So this going on in politics, and a lot more stories going to come out. A lot more stories. So I'm just, you know, just looking at these stories, especially when it came to that Mom of Liberty story. I'm like, yo, these people, just are freaks, right? So anyway, then I'm, you know, again, everybody was doing the story about Diddy. Everybody was doing the story. But I'm paying attention. I'm looking. Again, the story, he already got a lot of things taken away from him and everything. Then I started looking at Gene Deal video. And I watched a few of his video, you know. He talked about, there's so many videos. He talked about Diddy beat his baby mother until she went under the car. There's one video. Let me see if I could get that one here. Let's see. Let's show some videos. Let's show some videos of Mr. Diddy and his nonsense. Let's see. Okay. So this story is about Misa. And please understand, all the videos that I'm going to be using, all the receipts I'm going to be using is going to be used based on the Fair Act, Copyright Fair Act, which allows me to use these clips and these stories and these links in order to have a conversation. And no time am I agreeing with any of the actions of the people that I'm showing. I do not agree with violence, attacks, any type of bullying. And this is, all these clips is based on conversations that, you know, for us to have. Okay. So anyway, so I'm just watching to see what else going on with Diddy, because just getting to understand what the hell is, you know, who this guy is, right? So then you have Gene Deal talking about how he beat up Misa.
I'm saying, and they said he put hands on her. Misa was running from him so hard, trying to get away from him. She tried to crawl up under a car. You know, Puffy was, you know, Misa was like I said, she was a talented, beautiful girl, bruh. And if Puff didn't get his way, you know what I'm saying? He always did that play fighting stuff. You know, he always wanted to, he started off like he play fighting with somebody. You understand?
And that's the type of manipulation. I don't know a lot of women who knows this, but a lot of men and women, whenever you have somebody in a relationship and they wanna kind of antagonize you and get you upset, they try to play fight, or they tap you, or they be making faces in front of you to get you hyped up so that you could fight back, because they want to annoy you. And then when you swing and you hit them, that's when they hit you, or it becomes a big fight. It's just a tactic of a bully. So anyway, so I heard about that from Gene. So much Gene had to say about him. And then he goes on to talk about how, let's see here, I'm going to just play a few, hold on. Let's go. So okay, I don't want to get to this one yet. Let's see. So he played with that. He played it. Okay, hold on. Man in the car. Every relationship is valid. Okay, so then that's Gene. So I talked about Gene in the past. There's a lot of stuff that I played about Gene, but then I went and I started saying that the dialogue, the art of the dialogue, had a new person to talk about Diddy, and his name is Mr. Curry, right? Mark Curry. So Mark Curry started the last few interviews that's been happening was with Mark Curry, right? And I wanted to pretty much compare the stories, because when there's an abuser, right? Abusers have a tendency of acting the same way across the board in every relationship that they have, and then when you start comparing stories, you start realizing there's truth to the stories, because why would multiple people who is around the same person say the same thing? Why is the story so comparable? Why is this person treating each different women the same way? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Gene Deal had a lot to say about Diddy, and I pulled some clips before the previous. So now I wanted to listen to see what Mark Curry had to say. So Mark Curry started with saying that Diddy does not like rejection. So let's just play a few things that he said about Diddy. So let's go to, all right, which I'm going to be going back and forth a lot until I get to why I came to the story of Shakir Stewart. All right, so hold on. There you go. Here's one.
Let's say a case where it might be a female that likes you. She naturally just like you, but he likes her, but she likes you. He's upset about that. He don't like that. The fact that she like you and don't like him, because he done worked hard to get the money, the jewelry, the cars, the house, the pool, the everything else that he think he needs in order to make himself feel like that person, that man. And then you don't have to have none of that, and this female still likes you even more than she likes him. He hates that.
So he talked about that. He talks about that, and then he goes on to talk about, and that is in the dialogue. He goes on to talk about how Diddy has problem with real men. He goes on to talk about how Diddy threatened to spit on a girl. So he used to work with Mark Curry, used to do write songs and stuff like that with Diddy. He was one of the artists under Bad Boys, and he wrote a lot of the songs. He said, well, him and other artists. And he said one of the things is that they used to go to parties, and one time he brought this young lady to the party, and Diddy approached him and asked him about this girl. And he said, well, give her to me and I'll give you mine. And he's like, I can't give her to you. I don't have the right to give her to you. He said, but if she end up liking you, I'm not going to say anything, I'm saying, if she wants to like you, if you like you. He's like, okay. So Mark Curry left where he was and left the girl behind. And then he went out, I guess, to the store. When he came back, the girl was so upset. He's like, why did you leave me with this creep? And he's like, that's P. Diddy. She's like, I don't care. He's a creep. I don't have anything to do with him. He's a creep. And, and he wants to talk to me and I'm not interested. And even though I even told him I had a twin sister, but my twin sister is not going to like him either. And Mark Curry said P. Diddy was so upset. That's the title of the dialogue. He said he got so upset that he threatened to hit the girl and he was going to spit on the girl because she was so rejected. So Diddy doesn't like rejection, right? So we go into the whole thing. Where again the same video timestamp. I have so much timestamp. 4:22. Puffy, give your girl to me. 4:43. The girl say, why you leave me with this creep? And he goes on to say, hold on, there was another piece. let me play this one. Told you that story. Let's play this one. Hold on. Let's go here. Let's go to 340. They were just the dialogue just had Mark Curry just talking about. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure we're at 340. Let's go to 340. All right, let's show this.
Capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, what makes him. Power. That's just the selfishness to make you be like that. But with everything that's going on, man, you're looking at they dropping them left and right. Companies are parting ways with him.
So he was actually, if he's capable of being violent to women. And he said, Mark Curry said that, yes, he is capable of being violent towards women. And I want you guys to keep all of this stuff in your heads of the different things that Mark Curry is saying. In this title, it talks about how Diddy have a tendency of recording people, right? He has a tendency of wiretapping their home. So let's go to this, because we're gonna go back and forth in a few minutes. I just want to give you guys a glimpse of what I started hearing. So we're gonna go to 717, where he talk about Diddy wiretapping. Mark Curry. Mm-hmm. All right. Give me 1 second. Let's go here. Let's go.
Time a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity. So when you see someone doing that, you can imagine everything else they do. What do you think he's going to do if he found her on the phone talking to someone and or feels that she's cheating on him or somebody sleeping with his girl?
All right. So you guys have that. Okay. So I'm starting to listen I'm starting to listen to these stories. He goes on, he talks about every relationship he had was violent. He said he used to do that to Misa. He said that he wasn't a friend. He doesn't count himself a friend. He said Diddy is an arrogant person. He goes on, he put his hands on females. He said that he threw a chair at a producer. He went in. And then during this conversation, hold on 1 second. I want to go here. He talked about how Diddy did break Kim P nose. He talked about how that. He said Diddy former girlfriends cannot have other relationship. You know what I'm saying? He went in. And then I want to find out. There are so many different notes. There is so many different notes, but before that, yeah, there is so many different. I have so many different notes, and I think I talked about Sean Davy Way. If you please go check out Sean Davy Way, he goes in on through Kim P Instagram, and we're gonna go back a little bit on that. I want to find that. He showed how he alluded to right not too far before Kim Porter passed away that there was a post on her Instagram that indicated like somebody was a predator, and that's Sean Davy Way's associated with Diddy. I'll come back to that. I'm going to show all of that in a few minutes, but I want to go down and actually I really want to find this piece. Let me see if this is it. Let's see if this is it. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think this is it. Give me 1 second. And a 502. It's 502. I think it's 502. So he started talking. They started asking the story about Kim Porter. A lot of people have been talking about Kim Porter and the fact that, how she passed away, right? They started talking about, oh, sorry, somebody came on. Hey, how are you doing? What you cook tonight? I keep telling you I don't do the cooking in the family. That's my son that does the cooking. So I didn't cook anything tonight. Thanks for asking. Hi, Pastor Yvonne. Thank you for joining. So, Mark Curry. So again, going back and forth. So P. Diddy, I noticed that everything is quiet with P. Diddy. I haven't really seen anything. I didn't want to repeat everything everybody was saying. Then I went on Twitter and I started seeing all these different allegations against different prominent political leaders. So I started watching that. And then I went back on YouTube and I started seeing that, Sean Davy Wave is still on P. Diddy neck. And she started talking about, first she's talking about Casey. I said Casey again, Cassandra. Then he's paying attention to Kim Porter. He was talking about how Kim died. Right. And it was Sean Davy Wave that kept on bringing me back to Kim Porter death. A lot of people was talking about, but he kept on bringing me back. And he's like, how Kim died, how she died of a pneumonia, and how a lot of people were saying that her death was a mystery. And then they talked about how the coroner, and I'm going to show different receipts, who actually came back and was indicating that maybe Kim's death wasn't due to a pneumonia, that he ended up dying. So there was a lot of conspiracy on that. So then because of that whole story and me just being interested in watching the different clips and stuff like that, a new name came into the picture. So let's just play this video. Hold on. New name came in the picture. Let me see if this is it. Let's play.
This is what Shakir Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakir Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair.
So this name came up, and I'm like, wait a minute. Shakir Stewart? Who the heck is Shakir Stewart? I said, nobody mentioned it's Shakir Stewart. This is my first time, and I'm already, 58 minutes in my dialogue. This is how it was. Me looking at days of stories, catching up on different things and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I'm watching Mark Curry, and I heard this guy named Shakir Stewart. I'm like, who the heck is Shakir Stewart? God rest his soul. And that's when I found out, again, and I'm going to show you the ad. I Googled him, and I found that Shakir Stewart, again, let's see it, committed suicide, and he was an executive of Def Jam. Apparently, he took over for Jay-Z when Jay-Z left Def Jam, and he was given the job by L.A. Reid, the same L.A. Reid who now have a sexual allegation against him. Now, let's see, L.A. Reid, and I'm like, yo, wow. This is becoming, let me put it on my book, another name. Did I put L.A. Reid there before? Let's see. Yep, I have L.A. Reid already. So L.A. Reid has another allegation, I believe it has to do with a person, and I believe it's the same L.A. Reid, who said that her career was completely destroyed because L.A. Reid, okay, all right, okay, the person name is, let's look at the receipts. Let's go here. Grammy-winning music exec L.A. Reid is accused of a lawsuit in a lawsuit of sexual assault. Drew Dixon, who worked for Reed when he was chief executive of Astoria Record, alleges that Reed sexually assaulted her twice in 2001 and later cut her budget and sidelined artists when she rebuffed his continued advances. Right? So I'm like, it's just one person after the other. It's like every time you turn around, there's somebody else that's connected to Diddy that's been accused of allegation, right? So then again, I started to see what's the story about Shakir, and then Mark Curry started talking about it, and Mark Curry said that Shakir Stewart dated Kim Porter. Okay, and it appears that that Shakir died November 1st, 2008, and then Kim Porter died November 15th, 2018. So, all the conspiracy start popping up. Like, there was one video that I saw where they said that it was connected, that, this person was like, and I have the clip, the person was like, everybody signed a 10-year deal. If you look at Supernatural, it goes into, if you look at Supernatural, I'm a big Supernatural fan. It talks about signing your soul to the devil and they give you 10 years. So it was all of that going on. But then I became very interested because I'm like, okay, so what happened with Shakir Williams? Why did he kill himself? And then it talks about how his wife was saying that he started acting very strange. But before that, there's been several articles and different reports about Shakir Stewart and his death. So I started making a lot of different clips. So we talk about that his nose was broken, that Shakir Stewart was talking to KP, which is Kim Porter, right, on the phone, right? According to Mark Curry, that's what led to her nose being broken. Okay, but beforehand, because again, now there is so much to this. So Diddy saw a text on the phone between Shakir Stewart, right, and Kim Porter. Now, we already said that that Diddy has a tendency of tapping phones. We already saw that in one previous interview, that he has a tendency of tapping phones, right? There was another interview. I'm trying to get it right here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you guys this one. Again, we're going to start building the case again because, I love to build a case. All right. All right. So we have this. And we're going to 324. Okay. Let's go to 324. I want you guys to listen to this. 324. Let's do 320. Okay, hold on. Let's show this. Let's listen to this.
Time reports from Hollywood Street King suggested that Diddy had provided his close staff members, girlfriends, and associates with bugged BlackBerry smartphones. These devices were purportedly equipped with surveillance programs that allowed him to eavesdrop on their live phone calls and retrieve voicemail messages without their knowledge. This revelation cast a shadow over the boundaries of personal privacy within celebrity circles.
So, according to this report, Diddy likes to tape and record his personal friends, his girlfriends, BlackBerry devices. BlackBerry was big at the time. So at that time, before the reason why Mark Curry mentioned Mr. Stewart is because he was being asked, did Kim nose actually got broken by Diddy? And he confirmed it. And he said the reason why is because Diddy saw the text between Shakir Stewart and Kim Porter, in which Mr. Stewart, and I'm going to be going back to Shakir and Mr. Stewart, probably keep it at Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart said, "How's my babies?" So that's what they said, that he said, "How's my babies?" Now, so let's go back and see what was Diddy's response when he, according to Mark Curry, when he saw that text. So hold on, let's go to this. So when he saw that text now, all right, let's go, and we're talking about 511, right? Hold on one second. Okay, now let's see it.
Engage in a physical altercation. However, the confrontation left scars that ran deep. Mark Curry, a former ghostwriter for Diddy and the author of the explosive tell-all book, Dancing with the Devil, shed further light on the confrontation. He alluded to a physical altercation that took place between Diddy and Shakir during that fateful encounter. While the specific details of the altercation remain shrouded in mystery, it's clear that tensions had escalated to a dangerous level. This physical altercation was a stark reminder of the high-stakes nature of the music industry, where egos and rivalries can erupt into conflicts with real.
So that's one part, but what I want to do is I want to find the story. So give me a second. I want to find the part where they actually talk about the altercation. So give me 1 second. Let me go a little further up. Let me see. Okay, here it is. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. I found it. Give me 1 second. Let's go back. Let's go here. This again, this is the first time I heard about Mr. Stewart was because of Mark Curry. They're asking him, the dialogue asking him if it's true that Diddy broke Kim's nose. So everything stemmed from Casey's lawsuit, right? So let's go here. Let's look here.
Of events. Diddy stumbled upon text messages between Kim Porter and Shakir Stewart, messages that went beyond the ordinary. These exchanges contain phrases like, "How are my babies doing?" from Shakir to Kim, revealing an intimate bond between them. The revelation of this affair intensified Diddy's determination to win Kim back and raised fears of her potentially disclosing his secrets and perhaps criminal activities. Diddy's emotions reached a boiling point, and he couldn't contain his anger and frustration when he realized that Kim and Shakir's bond was stronger than he'd ever imagined. In a dramatic showdown, Diddy confronted Shakir Stewart during a trip to an island. The tension in the room was palpable as two powerful figures clashed over their feelings for the same woman.
All right. So you saw that. They said there was this huge energy in the room because he was fighting to get Kim back. But there's a different part of this story that someone else was talking about. Hold on 1 second. So we have that. We have the. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second. I want to find the part, but pretty much there was a part where they talk about how Kim nose got busted. Okay, here it is. I think this is the part I'm looking for. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if this is the part I was looking for, guys. Give me 1 minute. All right. I think I think this is one of the stories that came out. Give me 1 second. This is from Mark Curry. Apparently, Mark Curry wrote a book. In the book, this fight was mentioned. So in this clip, they're reading the book. Hold on 1 second. Let's go.
So he says, Puff ran into Kim on an island. Somehow he found out a phone message from Shakir to Kim. How are my babies doing? Shakir asked her on the message. When Puff realized Kim was doing fine without him, he was incensed. After summoning a couple of his bodyguards, Puff left the palace and went to Shakir's room at the hotel. He bammed on Shakir's door until he answered it. What the blank you doing leaving messages on Kim's cell phone? Puff raged. Where do you get off saying you the daddy of my kids? Shakir knew that Puff never confronted anyone without backup, so he was afraid to defend himself. Now, according...
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. All right. Wait a minute. I cut off a little bit too quickly. Hold on. Let's see. I want to make sure that I get this. Let's go back on here because I want to finish the story. Have you guys listen to the rest of the story? Hold on. Okay, let's continue.
To defend himself. Now, according to Mark, a physical confrontation took place and it didn't end well for Shakir. And also it's been noted that a situation went down between Diddy and Kim over this situation, and a doctor was flown out to actually reconstruct Kim's nose, where she's...
All right. So you see that, right? So now all of a sudden now I'm more interested in this story. So now more people are talking about the fact that Shakir, Mr. Stewart, got into Diddy got into an altercation with Shakir because he was talking to Kim. And turn around later on, it goes on to say that him and Kim was actually seeing each other. They were dating each other for a short time. And I guess they stopped talking to each other after Kim's nose got broken because Diddy was, went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with them having conversations. So they stopped dating or talking to each other after that. So now Shakir went on to have a different relationship, and I'm not sure if he actually got married or if the young lady was his fiance. I think the lady was his fiance. But they go on to talk about the fact that that after a while, his behavior started changing, and they couldn't understand why his behavior started. We talk about Mr. Stewart, that his behavior started changing, right? And his behavior started changing. I'm just looking through my notes, right? And Shakir dated Peter. Okay, why don't we just go one more? So we talked about that. Let's go through the other receipts. Let's do this one at a time. Let's go, because there's a lot of receipts on here. Let's just go through the receipts. Why don't we just let the receipts tell the story? I don't like to play in too much of the receipts because I don't want to get cut by Instagram. But the receipt is the one that's telling the story, so I want to play them. Okay, so let's go here. Okay.
Well, they're gonna have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So didn't it happen in Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist.
All right, so you have that part, right? So now we talk about, this is Mark Curry talking about it, that he busted her nose. They go on and talk about busting his nose. Now let's go into this now. Now, Celebrity Crime File talks about Shakir Stewart, right? Again, I didn't know anything about Shakir Stewart at all. I'm just learning about him through Mark Curry. Right now, I'm just looking to see the part that I want to play when it comes to him. All right, hold on a second. Let me show you this. There is a whole documentary about him, Crime Celebrity File. Okay, let's go.
Charismatic and supremely talented.
Live from the mini movie. December 12th, we're dropping it again. A history, 400,000 first week, #1 album in the country. Hey, Shay, let's go.
And just like that, he was gone.
Just like that, he was gone. Why was he gone? What the hell happened to Mr. Stewart? Why was he gone? Why did he kill himself, right? We go on and let's continue. I'm just going to share all the clips and then we could talk about it after the fact. So you guys could see exactly what's been going on with this story. Here we go. Here we go. Present.
I need you to do. In June of 2008, Shakir Stewart replaced Jay-Z as the executive vice president of Def Jam Records.
So he replaced Jay-Z as executive producer, right? He replaced Jay-Z. L.A. Reid is the one that gave him the position. Let's go forward a little bit. Okay. Now, who is this person? Let's go back a little bit. I don't know if I got this person's name. I want to see if I can get this person's name, but I don't see it. So anyway, let's play this part. Hold on. Again, all of this is being used for fair uses, guys. So let's go.
He rode around with that contract for like 2 weeks before he actually signed it. He actually told me he felt like he made a deal with the devil.
The timing of the promotion was unfortunate. The economy was tanking, digital downloads were sinking the music industry, and the pressure to produce worldwide hits was intense.
So he talks about how he's making the deal with the devil as far as signing on the devil that they indicated in this documentary is Diddy. Okay, so we go into this. We talk about L.A. Reid allegation. They talk about by Ms. Dixon. They talk about the fact that that L.A. Reid later told Mr. Stewart that he wasn't doing a good enough job and that he has to step down from the position of the executive producer. And that's when things started unraveling. And they were saying the reason why I played the part as far as the record deal, the music going down, is it was during that time that a lot of people were saying the reason why he was feeling a lot of pressure was because people wasn't buying records as they used to. The economy was tanking, and they said that was the reason why he was blamed and why he lost his position. But then there are other people who are talking about that that's not really the case, because there was someone who in the report that was like, actually it was Gene Dill. Gene Dill says that there is no way that Mr. Stewart would have gotten stressed out about the job, because he went to Columbia. he's been doing high profile jobs his entire life. There's no reason why he would have been stressed about, about the job. There's no reason why he would have killed himself because of that. There's no reason. That's what Gene said, right? So we go on now, and they say, let's go to crime. Let's go to this video. All of a sudden, he loses his position. And then all of a sudden now, you get to the point where they say that he fell. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys this. Give me 1 second.
With L.A. Reid, I know that he was told that he no longer had that position and that he was transferred to Atlanta.
In the fall of 2008, Stewart's behavior began to concern his friends and family.
Somewhere along the line, it didn't seem to be as fun. Every time he called me, he was like real melancholy, subdued.
He was in a kind of state of paranoia.
So he was in a state of paranoia. Again, he just lost the position. They were talking about how, and this is 2008. Now, hold on. So much different things. Hot news, hip hop was talking about it. Diddy accused of breaking Kim nose. Everybody is talking about this whole thing because there was a wiretap. Of course. I'm just trying to bring up this story. Give me 1 second. Where is it? I just removed it. All right. Did I free it? I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Allegation. Paris Hilton talked about it. As the rapper faced a series of rape and abuse allegations, former Bad Boy recording artist Mark Curry is speaking out about what he witnessed during his time with Sean Combs. He talked about the man was capable of doing anything. He talked about the breaking a nose. It keeps going back to his nose being broken. And all of a sudden, this gentleman named, it was between Sean and Kim, dated off and on between 1994 to 2007. Right? And it was during that time that her nose got broken in 2007. Right? This is my understanding. And then all of a sudden, after her nose got broken, this young man lost his job. Then after he lost his job now, he started feeling as if he was being like followed. He was being taped, right? His behavior changed. Okay, so let's see what the friend had to say about his suicide. Give me 1 second. It's a friend. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm just doing a bunch of stuff. All right, here's an article. Here's another article that I found here. Right? Okay, here's another article that I found here. All these articles you guys could go and take a look at yourselves. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's go to this article. We could read it a little bit of it. Friend of Def Jam exec wigging out. A close friend was trying to talk to wigging out record executive Shakir Stewart moments before he committed suicide Saturday, according to Gold County Police record. Herb Smith of Ducola said in a report that he came over to Stewart Marriott home Saturday at the request of his fiancée, Michelle Rivers, to talk to the Island Def Jam vice president about his change in behavior that concerned his fiancée. Right? So I'm going to stop it and I'll read on. Smith told police that he noticed a behavioral change to Stewart when he arrived at the house and that Stewart was wigging out. In a police report, Smith said while trying to talk to him, Stewart began to telling him to leave, and he told Smith to go home to his wife and children, according to the report, because he did not need to be at Stewart house. When Smith stepped outside the house at 3860 Linden Drive, he called 911. He heard a gunshot from inside the house, the report says. Smith told police that Rivers was in the kitchen at the time of the shooting. Smith found the 34-year-old Stewart in the master bedroom floor. In another report, they say he was in the bathroom. River told police she noticed a change in Stewart when he arrived home on October 31st, but he won't tell her if anything was wrong. They went out for Halloween, and Rivers called Smith after they returned home, and then they talk about how a private funeral happened. So this is what happened. He started behaving strangely. He started just doing different things to misbehave. I mean, to like he was paranoid. So let's get to this video right here. Let's get to this video right here. And let's start with 243, timestamp 243. All right. Let's listen. Timestamp 243.
Being followed, cars parked outside his house, his phone was being tapped. There's a lot of people in a position to gain, maybe not gain financially, but definitely gain. So who knows? It's still up there. I would like to know.
So they said that he was being followed. Like his friends were saying that he said he was being followed, he was being wiretapped and stuff like that. Now, again, we showed earlier that Diddy likes to wiretap, right? People, different people. You showed earlier that he likes to wiretap the associates that he worked with his former girlfriend. That's how he was able to figure out what was going on between Kim and Mr. Stewart, and that's what started into the big fight with them at the hotel room. And we know from accounts of Cassie, I'm going to call her Cassie now, right? I keep changing her name. KC court records. Hold on one second. Now we should not be surprised that it's possible, because look at this right here. Hold on one second. If I could, let's delete this. Let's delete this one. By the way, I don't know if anybody tried to Google the records for the actual record of the sexual the PDF document of the case between Sean Combs and Casey. You can't find it. I tried to Google it and I couldn't find it in the Google. So I don't know if it's just me. I put Sean Diddy, I put Combs sexual assault, I did all that, and it's not coming up on Google. Thank God I saved it, but it's not coming up on Google. So I don't know if it's just me, but that I found that to be weird. That all of a sudden it was all over the place, and now all of a sudden you can't even find it on Google search. So anyway, so I wanted to show this example of this. Give me 1 second. Remember that he went into the hotel room. He went to find the guy at the hotel room to fight him, right? Now, in all of her lawsuits, she talks about these various, everything that happens. Oh, did I lose you guys? Okay, hold on. Okay, no, I did. Everything that happens in this case has to do with hotel rooms. Almost everything. Let's go to, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Did I go to the wrong? Let me see. I want to make sure. Where is it? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Well, I don't want now it's my computer's acting up. Hold on 1 second. Is this it? No, that's not it. This is not it. This is not it. New tab. Nope. Nope. I need to find it. Give me 1 second, guys. It was just so weird. I was searching. Now all of a sudden I couldn't find it. And it's doing the same thing again. Okay, hold on. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me copy and paste it over here. Okay, good. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Let's do the present. Let's share the screen again. All right, so here's the case, right? Almost everything in this case has to do with a hotel room, right? The R in the hotel room, in her the violent attack in her house. If you start going through the whole thing, whenever she gets beat up, he takes her to a hotel room. I don't want to keep this up long because I don't want to get in trouble. But then there was a situation, and I'm trying to say where I want to find it. Give me 1 second. Abuse, powerful injection. 16. Plaintiff, defendant. Liability, defendant. This is all of it. Okay. Billboard release. Sorry, guys. 2000 invited her to perform. All the stuff like that. Now, mind you, he was pursuing Cassandra when he was still dating Kim Porter. Right? It's crazy. Right there. Had a New York trip. Insured 21st birthday party right here. He invited himself to the 21st birthday party. Although, look at it, point 37, although Mr. Combe knew that Miss Ventura was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combe pursued her. You see all of that? They go out. Eventually, she starts dating him. And then I want to get into this. Proceed to get into altercation. He loved good in altercation. The Miami. We talk about the Miami, the trip over the weekend, and we talk about that. I'm trying to find this where he was aggressive, impossible for anyone to challenge him. He was, to the apartment walking distance. He bought her apartments and everything like that. The rival. I want to get the attended makeup paid directly. Combe, given prescription, deeply involved. Drive on the way, ownership. Call him Pop, a bunch of stuff like that. But okay, here it is. 62. Miss Ventura was also exposed to the intense violence that pervaded Mr. Combs' rise to fame. For example, on one occasion when Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura was using drugs and together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel Drive-In dinner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Now, it's very similar to the story that they talked about where he left where he was with Kim Porter and went over to Mr. Shakir Stewart's hotel, banged on the door with 2 security guards and threatened him because he felt that he was dating. You see, once you start comparing the stories, it seems very connected, right? So now I already showed you a tape where a clip where they say that his phone, he felt that his phone was taped. Let's Let's go back. There's another video. Hold on. Let's go to another video. And this time, let's go to timestamp 332. Let's go to timestamp 332. And that's the people that knows these people that's talking about this, right? These are people who are part of the story that's going back. I didn't know who this guy Stewart was. Never even heard of him until I saw it. I'm like, we have another mystery? All right, let's go to 332. Let's see what he has to say here.
That he was being followed. They said his phone was being tapped. People was following him. Cars parked outside his apartment when he, his house when he comes out. These are the same things that they do. We know they're tapping our phones. We know that they're watching us. They drive cars past our apartment complexes or houses every time we come outside. These are the things that we're doing. So, me watching this still.
So these are the things that they said they was doing. So he was paranoid. He was scared. He said they were chasing. They were recording him. All of this happened after Diddy went to his hotel, attacked him, and then after that, breaking up Kim Knows. Now remember, they said that him and Kim were back together again around 2006 to 2007. Now, he killed himself November 1st, 2008, after Halloween. At that time, that's when his personality went through changes, according to his family, right? His personality started going through changes. He was being pursued. It said it and several different, his stepfather said, his friend said, he said he was being recorded, he was being pursued, and we saw that in Cassie's lawsuit that Diddy has a habit of pursuing people that he feels that his enemy. That it's in the lawsuit that he said it, right? You have Gene Deal, you have Mark Curry, all of them saying that he records and he tapes people. Even in the lawsuit, let's go to the lawsuit. She talks about him taping. Hold on, let's see if we can find this. That he taped it. Hold on a second. So that's with the freak off, right? Let's go to the lawsuit. She was terrified. Talk about the trafficking, the freak off on occasion. Sometimes they would fly mail, they'd go into all of that. I want to get to the part where he records, right? Let's go to this part so we could see this. Okay. Oh, sorry. What is this? I don't need this. Let's go to present. Let's go to the recording. Let's read this part. During the FO, in addition to directing Ms. Ventura in, sexual act, Mr. Cohn would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Ms. Ventura having, sexual acts. Right? Now, it goes on to say on 92, while Ms. Ventura quickly delete any photos or videos of sex acts if they were taken on a phone. Mr. Cohn repeatedly made it clear that he retained many videos of Ms. Ventura during FOs. Even when she deleted the videos, Mr. Cohn would tell Ms. Ventura that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing the inability to escape the immense power he held. Now, we all know about videos, right? We know about phones. This is back in the days when they had Blackberries. Nowadays, you have things that are being uploaded into cloud. So nothing is deleted. How did he have access to her phone, the videos that she put on that was on her phone that he deleted? He had access because he was able to tap into these people's phones. So, of course, it makes sense. If you start looking at the lawsuit and you see what happened to Mr. Stewart, of course, it makes sense for him to be able to see the text between them two. Of course, it makes sense for him to know and believe that this guy is wiretapping him. Of course, the way he was able to locate him at his hotel and knock on the door with his security guard, of course, he's going to feel that he's being pursued, right? All of this is happening, right? Then his friends, so now we all don't know why he would kill himself. Okay, so let's just say he was being pursued. Let's just say this all had to do with Kim. let's just say it all had to do with Kim. That P. Diddy, a lot of people felt that, because he had a relationship with Kim, P. Diddy was upset. He threatened the guy. He beat up the guy. He punched the guy. And they talk about that one time they were in a hotel room. He went in a hotel room. It's the three of them. And there's a story that says that they were fighting because of Kim. But what if they weren't fighting because of Kim? Right? What if there was something else going on there? Okay. There was a story at one time. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see. Let me find it because I found the clip on this. Let me get this. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys. Bugs. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I can find this. Give me 1 second. I want to see. There was, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if it's this one. I started seeing other videos. Hold on. I started seeing other videos. And I wondered about these. I'm like, has anybody even thought to think about this point? Let me see if this is the part, guys. Sorry, I have a lot of different. Let me see. Oh, that's not it. That's not the one I'm looking for. There was something that was said. Was it this one? Hold on, I think it's here. Let me see if this is the video. Give me 1 second. And 5713. Let me see if this is the one. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. Give me 1 second. I think it's here, but I just have to look for it. Because I know I saw it, guys. I want us to open up our mind to another conversation. That is if I can find this thing. The thing that's frustrating me is that I go to all the troubles of finding clips. And when I want to find something, I don't see it. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking for it. Hoping you guys had a great Sunday. Tomorrow's work day. We are back at it tomorrow, boy. So much stuff about this guy. It's just crazy. Where is the part that I wanted to find? I don't know if this is it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking. I am looking for this particular let's see, 907. Is it 907? 907, 907. Okay, that's him. That's L.A. Reid. That's him. Nope. There is so much more with this. You know something? Hold on. I know I have it. I want to show the video. I have all of that piece. Okay, I think I might have to do this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let me see. I want to listen to it first. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. One of the people that started. All right, let's talk about this. So good. So one of the people that started talking about this heavy and got in trouble was Wendy Williams. All right, let's listen to this for a little while. And this was from Vlad TV. Let's listen to this for a little while.
Feminized, but be very clear. There were lots of homosexuals in hip hop back in the 80s too. That was what's worse, hip hop wearing skirts or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality.
So let's stop there. And she started talking about she started talking about gay in hip hop in the 80s, right? And here's the part that I want. This is the part I wanted you guys to hear, right? So she's the one that started talking about gay and hip hop and stuff like that. But here this is the part that's supposed to be about Diddy. So here we go.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career. And it's all coming full circle now.
So it's all coming full circle now. Wendy Williams talk about it. So there's a story about Wendy Williams showing a photo of, I believe it was a photo of Diddy, right? I'm trying to find the video. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Again, these are all, I'm using everything as for just in order to have a conversation, okay, of what's going on in this world. So let's listen to this. All right. Now, let's go. Let's continue.
When he grabbed his trunk to pull us down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams.
Or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. Radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
So in that video, it talks about how that Diddy, a bodyguard, talked about some gay photos that was released and sent over to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams was talking about the gay photos that had to do with Diddy. And because Wendy Williams said it, they said that Diddy, this is all alleged. I mean, this is all stories. I'm just repeating what was said. Because of that, Wendy Williams lost her job from New York and had to go to Philly. Now, this is all the stuff that Gene Deal is talking about. There's also videos, and I played a couple and I spoke about it, where Gene Deal talks about how he went into a sex shop with Diddy and how he was teasing Diddy because Diddy kept on buying butt plugs and different things like that. And then he talks about the story about when they in that video, I showed that too, where he got into it with Ja Rule cousin. He talks about that. And do I have that here? Or did he? Let me see. Do I have that one, or is it in the previous one? Hold on. I think it's my previous one, but if you look at, but anyway, they talk about how, let me go down below. How to give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. So I'm looking for this right here. Again, it's Gene Deal, and he's been doing a lot of interviews on, and let me see if I can find that piece instead of making myself crazy. Let's see, Gene Deal and Ja Rule. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. I said Diddy. Okay, I think this is this it? But I want to see is the Gene. Okay, I want to give it go straight to the interview. Art of the deal. Okay, art of the dialogue. Right. Yeah, I want to go straight into the interview. Had a session. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Let me see if I could get to that piece. Good. So here we go. Here's the story. All right. Everything is fair use, guys. We're using everything is fair use so that we can have a discussion about what's going on, right, in this world. Let's talk about this one. So this is another story from.
And he had Ja Rule and him in the room. Yo, I didn't know they was doing anything freaky until Ja came out and said, yo, y'all didn't want to be in there because there's a lot of freaky things going on. So I guess that was one of those freak off sections.
All right, so he's talking about so there was two girls, Sarah and a girlfriend, and you have Diddy and you have Ja Rule. The story goes is that he goes on and talk about how the reason why Ja Rule came out of the room saying that is because a guy showed up at the hotel room saying that he's Ja Rule's cousin. He wanted to talk to him, and the guy kept on trying to pass him to go into the room. And Gene started fighting with the guy. And then Ja Rule and Diddy came out in a towel, and they were like, "What the heck is going on?" And he said that this guy trying to get to the room. And Ja Rule said to the guy, the cousin, and in front of Gene Deal, "You don't want to go there because there's a lot of freaky things going on in there." Now, most of the time when it comes to sex between males and stuff like that and women, it's not really considered freaky, right? Most of the time it's regular sex, right? But when you have multiple people in the room and they start talking about freaky, a lot of minds go into like, okay, you have two men, two women. if regular sex is between a man and a woman, and then you say there's freaky stuff going on, that means it alludes to other things. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it alludes to other things. So Gene Dill said that, right? Then he talks about right? I showed you that one. Then he talks about this. Hold on 1 second. I think I showed you this part already. Hold on. Is it this one part right here? Want to make sure that I get to the right part. All right. And we talked about that already. We talked about, I showed you that part already, but I want to show it to you again. I'll show you this part again. I just want to make sure that we all are on the same page here. We already saw this, but let's play this again.
Pull it down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed.
So when he pulled down the trunk, right? That's Diddy pulling down somebody's trunk allegedly, and they took a picture. Let's continue with this conversation. Ba-da-ba-ba. This one right here is very interesting. Let's look at this one. All right, let's look at this. Mm-hmm. All right, here's another video from the dialogue, and they're interviewing Keith D, right? So let's go. Let's listen to what Keith D had to say on the subject matter. Okay, let's go.
In here with a big old booty and shit. No, he was gaying them over. What the fuck is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? That shit, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something. But I seen it here. Matter of fact, MC Lyte pulled off with Tanisha Arnold. You know what I'm saying? In her brand new 560, black one. Yeah, that shit weird, dude. Yeah, that's some weird ass shit going on, you know. Yeah.
And what was Tupac doing at the party, yo?
Him and Puff was there together. They was there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't know how they fucking fell out or nothing like that. They was road dogs, you know what I'm saying? They even got pictures of him. He got on that blue sweater.
So he's talking about the party that they went to, but I want to go further up a little bit. I think I missed some parts. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. He's talking about Illuminati, but he's talking about something beforehand. All right, here we go. Now I'm a Tupac lover, so this is no disrespect to Tupac or anything, but I'm just sharing what was said. All right, this is what I'm hearing. Now listen to this. This is and Keith D is talking about Illuminati and a whole bunch of stuff that is like out of this world. But listen to this part.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on. You know what I'm saying? The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and shit. No, he was gaying them over. What the fuck is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? That shit. So it ain't right.
I'm sorry.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something.
So this, as you can see, Keith D detailed a disturbing gay Illuminati party he went to and saw P. Diddy. This is saw P. Diddy and Will Smith. So you guys could go in there, right? So we're talking about all of this. Okay, you guys could go read all of this, right? So I'm still going on. I'm still going in. Here's another clip. Again, I'm just sharing receipts. And once I share the receipts, I'm going to make inferences. All right. So where are we? I'm showing another video. I'm in 514. A lot of clips. A lot of different clips, guys. All right. Let's look at what Gene Deal have to say again. There was one video I want to show, if I could find it, that I wanted to show you guys. Wait, let's see that. Listen to this.
The next morning, he done got what he need and got what he want. Because 9 times out of 10, he done put those people in a position, in an awkward situation, that they're going to have to give him what he want.
What you mean by that? Go more into detail about that.
So I want to play a little bit, go forward with this, because this actually lead into another part of my conversation. Hold on a second.
Go in the same room. About the end of the next morning, he done got what he need and got what.
Hold on a second. Okay. All right, here we go. I had to stop it because I didn't want to get caught out there, but I want to play this one. So let's stop for a second. So I showed several videos of them saying that P. Diddy, I'm going to leave it right there, that P. Diddy, there's been inference all the place that Diddy like to be around other males, right? As far as seeing them engage in sexual activities with his girlfriend, Cassie. Cassie is on her lawsuit. You have several, there was the Wendy Williams story where somebody shared a video of him pulling down somebody's pants. She lost her job. There is a Keith D talk about Tupac and Puff Daddy at a party. He said Illuminati party where a lot of gay stuff was going on, stuff like that. You talk about Gene Deal, talk about how Puff went to the sex store and he bought different butt plugs and stuff like that. All of this, and then all of this have a hint, inferences of P. Diddy actually being involved in LGBTQ activities, right? People have been saying that, they've been hinting about it. It doesn't, Cassie does not say that in her lawsuit at all. She just says that, she's on a lot of drugs and stuff like that. And then he likes to have different men do things, but she doesn't reference that at all. But a lot of people have been saying it about P. Diddy for a long time, right? So then when they started talking about, when I started researching the story about Kim and the story about Shakir Stewart, I started wondering something. I'm like, they said that he was being followed. They said that he was being bugged and wiretapped and stuff like that. And his behavior started changing. And I was wondering, I'm like, would a man like that lose his composure because he was threatened about a girl, about a woman, not a girl, because Kim Porter was a woman? Would he has changed up like that because of a job? Would he have changed like that because of a broken relationship with Kim Porter? Would he have changed like that because of a threat from P. Diddy? Because at the time of his demise, he was already in a relationship with another young lady. So that means that he moved on with his life, right? And then as I continue to hear more about the story, then I got to this tape, this part right here, right? Hold on, I want to make sure I get it. I get to this part right here. Let's listen to this part right here. Again, I'm sharing everything is being shared as fair share rules of copyright. I'm showing clips in order to have a discussion, have a dialogue. This is all entertainment only. Again, I have no insight into any of these people. I do not know them. I'm just looking and paying attention to these various stories, and I just notice a pattern. I just noticed this pattern. So, and then all of a sudden, this young man's name came out of nowhere, and then his death is a mystery. And a lot of his friends are saying that he didn't commit suicide, and even if he did commit suicide, there was a lot of stuff going on around him. So I wanted to know more. And then I went through the videos. I showed you all the clips, and then Gene Deal said this:
him and somebody that he needs something from or wants something from. And he'll get those girls and he'll line them up with him, and they'll all go in the same room. And about the end of the next morning, he done got what he need and got what he want. Because 9 times out of 10, he done put those people in a position, in an awkward situation, that they're going to have to give him what he want.
So he go on to talk about how, and I'm listening to the video. He said he doesn't want to go back to this man. He said it's difficult to go back to. I don't want to play all extended video. He talks about. So when he talks about, he goes on to talk about something to do. Oh shoot, no. What happened? Sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys are still on. Give me 1 second. My camera just died on me. Give me a second. Let me see if I'm still on. You should see my camera just died on me. I'm like, what happened? Okay, I'm back. So anyway, hopefully it's not YouTube shutting me off. So anyway, he goes on. That story goes on to P. Diddy and but when he gave me that part of it, and he talks about, it sounded like blackmail to me, right? He talks about how Diddy will go into a room with 2 ladies or whatever, and he put people in compromised situation, and then he'll have what he needs to get that person. Now, I heard that, and then when they started talking about Mr. Stewart passing on, some of his people was saying, hold on one second. Hold on, I want to see to the door. I want to make sure. If you don't, give me 1 second. It's this part right here that got me. Let me see if this is this part right here that got me here. When it came to his story. It's this piece right here, guys. We have 629. Hold on. I'm going to go to this. Oh, this one right here. Okay, I think this is where, hold on. It's Gene Deal again. Every time we go back, every video I come up is Gene Deal, but now it's a younger Gene Deal. Let's see what he had to say here.
If you put this out, my wife is going to know.
Okay.
My kid is going to know himself these past few months before he did this to himself.
So apparently he wrote a book. Gene Deal wrote a book. Let me see if I can get this louder. Gene Deal wrote a book, and in there he talks about Shakir Stewart was targeted. And this is what he wrote. He said,
what could it have been?
What could it have been?
Obviously, he did something that wasn't supposed to have been done,
Mhm.
and somebody was going to remind him about what was going on. And he was like, if you put this out, my wife is going to know. My kid is going to know. I heard the actual truth.
What is the truth?
See, the truth, like they said when they told you.
Come on, it'll set you
don't
free.
say.
It'll set you free.
The
The truth will set you free.
Well, the truth is basically, if you look at what his wife said.
Yes.
His wife said it, and we're gonna leave her words and let her words be the last word that represent him, because we're gonna owe her that.
Got you.
Right? Whatever she wanna let be out there, then we're gonna take it and run with that. She said that he wasn't himself during these past days.
Do you think that we'll ever know?
He wasn't himself during these past days. They said that he wasn't himself during these past days. And he said that someone knew something about Shakir. They said that his wife said that he wasn't himself. Right? Somebody else said he was afraid something was coming out. Hold on, let me see if it's the same video or if this is another one. Hold on 1 second. Let me show you this. All right, let's show this one. Hold on 1 second. And there was this video right here. This video right here is kind of a weird, not weird. It's like more of Illuminati. It's not an interesting video, but it's more has to do with Illuminati than anything else. But then this one, let's show this. Okay. Well, hopefully. Let's show this part right here.
Or he knew something about somebody else. So let's take a look at this.
Shakir, I never can say I heard anything bad. Now we've heard.
All right, so I want to play it, just put a little bit forward, just a little bit. Let's see, just a little bit. Let's see.
And when it coming out, that's probably why he killed himself, you know. Or he knew something about somebody else. So let's take a look at this.
Shakir, I never can say I heard anything bad. Now we've heard talk, but I would say I heard anything bad.
Never.
Now, what is your take on his alleged suicide? I'm not sure that was confirmed or whatever. You know, his passing. What is your take on that? And how deep does that really go?
You know, something really was bothering Shakir, and it wasn't. You know, a lot of people say that it was the stress from the job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Shakir went to Morehouse. First, he worked with Noon.
That's the part I wanted you guys to hear. Let's go back. This is the part that I mentioned earlier, right? A lot of people were saying that there was stress with this young man, that he was very stressful. Maybe that's what caused him for him to commit suicide. L.A. Reid fired him. They thought it was that. But then Gene Deal just made this point right here. So let me share it again. Hold on 1 second. Let me share this part again.
It was the stress from the job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Shakir went to Morehouse. First, he worked with Noontime, and then he went to Hitco. So I seen his incline. He didn't have no reason to be stressed about no music. I can walk away from this today, so it ain't gonna be the stress from the job.
Okay.
So you see that? So it wasn't the stress of his job, right? So it wasn't the stress of his job that he actually they said that caused him to kill himself, right? Gene said that he was part of all these amazing organizations. He could have left the job if he wanted to and got another job. That's what he's saying. Again, this is all Gene. Then you go on and you hear people are saying that he was being wiretapped. It was proven that our Diddy wiretap people. They said that he felt that something was going to come out. So if something was going to come out, right, about him, that he was afraid that his wife and them will find out about, what could it be that would have came out that would cause this young man to actually commit suicide, right? What could it be? Let me see. There was another video. I don't know if I played this video yet, so let's see this one. I want to see if I played this one. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Then I saw this video. Guys. Again, this is all the stuff that I'm seeing online. It's all of this is online. Then I saw this video.
Together that every one of them, man, or every one of them have their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? In that book.
This is Gene Deal, a young man. Look at this. It says Stewart was being blackmailed by certain high-up people in the industry who had a video footage of him committing homosexual act on another man. Then I saw this piece. Let's read it again. Stewart was being blackmailed by certain high-up people in the industry who had a video footage of him committing homosexual act on another man. Okay. So I'm like, okay. All right. This has become like just a more bigger, more crazy story, right? First of all, no one should feel any way about their sexuality, right? We all know that people should be comfortable with whoever they are, but we're talking about in mid-2008 where people weren't as comfortable with their sexuality as they are now, right? We're talking about a very powerful man that they said that likes to record people, that likes to have power over people. They even said there was a part, I showed the video where they said that, you know, he brings people into rooms so that he could get them where they want, where he could blackmail them. There was a video receipt where I showed earlier where they accuse him of blackmailing others. But then they talk about the fight between Kim Porter, Kim Porter nose being broken. They talk about that part. Then they talk about Diddy going to the room, right, and threatening Shakir for talking to his baby mother. But then I heard this part, and I think I played it earlier, but I want to play it all again. I want to play this again. I want to go on to this. And I have to say, there is videos where they say Kim told Shakir about her relationship with Diddy. They said that Diddy was concerned because he didn't want Shakir to know a lot about him, about his activities and stuff like that. And it goes on 7/13. Let's play a couple of more receipts where they say that he told Shakir to stop talking to Kim. So let's play some video. Let's play that video. Let's play some of this. I want to leave that part open. I want to leave the part that somebody said that he was. Hold on one second. Let's go to 7/13. Let's go to 7/13. Okay. All right. We're going to go here. Let's share.
Said that Diddy warned Shakir in 2007, right? He warned him to stop all communications with Kim. And so, you know, I guess Shakir and Kim, they may have stopped talking, they may have not. But what I do know is that Shakir left us in 2008. So it seems that Diddy wanted his cake and he wanted to eat it too. So,
all right, they said that he stopped them from talking and Diddy wanted his cake and eat it too. So you see that, right? So let's continue on. Let's continue on. This video right here caught me. There's two videos that caught me After I'm seeing that piece about how they said a powerful person had a video of Stewart, Mr. Stewart having homosexual act on a man, then I went on and I saw these two videos. So let's go on. Let's look at. We talk about 5. Let's go to 501. All right. It's 501, right? Okay. Let's share.
With Diddy's reputation for intensity and Shakir's status in the industry adding fuel to the fire. Shakir, aware of the volatile situation, wisely chose not to engage in a physical altercation. However, the confrontation left scars that ran deep. Mark Curry, a former ghostwriter for Diddy and the author of the explosive tell-all book, Dancing with the Devil, shed further light on the confrontation. He alluded to a physical altercation that took place between Diddy and Shakir during that fateful encounter. While the specific details of the altercation remain shrouded in mystery, it's clear that tensions had escalated to a dangerous level. This physical altercation was a stark reminder of the high-stakes nature of the music industry, where egos and rivalries can erupt into conflicts with real-world consequences.
So you guys heard that, right? So there was a big fight, and I played that earlier, a big altercation, right? They said that. Now let's go to this right here. Let's go to this receipt right here. All right, let's go to. Okay, a lot of just different receipts, guys, just different receipts. Let's go here.
Surrounding the love triangle. The incident raised questions about the true nature of the conflicts and altercations that had occurred during that time. Was Kim's injury really an accident, or did it serve as physical evidence of the emotional turmoil that had engulfed the trio? As the story continued to unfold, it left a trail of unanswered questions in its wake.
Now, the trio. They keep talking about the trio. The trio. Kim Porter, Diddy, Shakir Stewart. Kim Porter, Diddy, Shakir Stewart. Homosexual acts. The suicide. Blackmail. Has anybody ever thought about the love triangle between them? A lot of people alluded to the fact that the love triangle was between Diddy, Stewart, and Kim. They alluded to the fact that the two men were fighting about Kim. Yet almost everything towards the end of Shakir Stewart's life lead me to think that possibly the love triangle was between Stewart and Kim and Diddy, or Diddy is in the middle of Stewart and Kim. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is just alleged. This is just my thought and alleged. This is just my thought. I could be completely off base, right? So we know for a fact that Diddy is very possessive of his women, right? We know for a fact, right? We know that he gets very angry, he gets jealous, and we all know that he had a lot of anger when it comes to Kim, right? But then Kim and Diddy was friends to the end. They had kids and everything, but they were friends to the end, right? Now, a lot of people, there's been a lot of stories about beard, right? A beard is a wife or a woman that is in a relationship or a friendship with someone who's either gay or bi, and they are like the beard, like they hide the person's true sexual nature, right? Now, did I say, in all due respect to Kim, she apparently she really cared about Diddy. But one of the things that I remember reading about Kim is that she said that she would never marry Diddy. And I read an article where Kim says if she marries somebody, she has to marry somebody once. And she said that Diddy wasn't ready. In that report, it was inference. The inference was that Diddy wasn't ready because he was always cheating with other women. But what if Diddy also was cheating with other men? What if Diddy had a relationship with Shakir, right? And the reason why Stewart, and the reason why he was so angry that he left the hotel. First of all, how did he know which hotel he was in? How did he know which hotel he was in? Okay, that's one, right? How do we know when he left the hotel because he was upset because of the text message and he went there to fight him because of the text message? How do we know that the passion that was inside the room was between the two men fighting over Kim? How do we know all of this had to do with Kim and not had to do with Stewart, with Shakir Stewart? How do we know that? Why would a young man kill himself almost a year after the incident happened on the island? And he said he was being taped, he was being followed, right? Right? Why did they say, somebody said that the reason why he killed himself was because there was a recording of him with another man? Why did Wendy Williams lose her job? Because they say P. Diddy took the pants off of a male, right? We have to start thinking about all of these various scenarios and start analyzing some of these things. And again, all of this is all allegations. All of these is just, I wasn't there. I don't know about what's going on with these people. I don't know them personally. These are just names that's just popping off out of the woodwork. And then you have, another connection is that the coroner, and I'm not saying he did it because, it gets so crazy because people start talking about it. So there's some allegations that Kim Porter's death was not a natural death. But of course, she died 10 years after, almost 10 years to the day of after Shakir Stewart died. I would like to think that Kim would not have continued a relationship with P. Diddy if she felt that he was, involved in any way with Shakir's death. But the fact is that they said that the coroner who was questioning her death, he later on commits suicide, another suicide around the situation, right? They said that her death was unexplained, a mystery, another mystery death, right? They said that her phone was tapped, obviously, because they found out about the Shakir story, so her phone was always tapped. Even though she was the mother of his kids, they said that she said specifically she didn't want to marry him. And then you go into two separate different things. And let's go back to Sean Davy Way, what Sean Davy Way found. Let's see what Sean Davy Way found. Hold on one second. Right here. Let's see this. I want to show you guys what he found. Let's see. And Sean W. is on this. He can't stand Diddy. But he found this piece right here that was on her post. That wasn't it. Hold on. There we go. I'm not gonna play the piece. I wanna because I don't want to disrespect, because I don't know if he allows people to play his content. Let's see.
Let's get into the second part.
Hold on.
The live.
All right. So He said that this was posted on her page, Kim Porter page, right? This is what he said. This is Sean Davy Wade. He said this was posted on Kim Porter page. So let's just see. Let's read this off right here. All right. It said, "The last shall be first and the first shall be last. Time to clean out all the evils. The sexual predators, the thieves, the energy killers, the users and abusers. Be the natural light of the earth. Take care of each other, not take advantage of each other." This is what Sean Davy Way found on Kim Porter Instagram. And he infers that he found it's not too long, not too long before she passed away, that it was posted. He also went on to say that several people said that she was tired of the lies and that she was going to write a tell-all book. And then they go on to talk about I'll Be Sure. I'll Be Sure, who was married briefly to Kim Porter, right? Said that he had a fear. Okay? They said that he had a doubt about the death of Kim Porter. He wrote something to say that I'm trying to find the video. It's almost like the same thing that happened the way they're saying that Stewart was acting. It's almost the same way that they said that Stewart was acting. The paranoia, the wanting to write a book, the encrypted messages. All right. So here we go. I'm about to show you this piece right here. Apparently, I'll Be Sure started crying online. I cannot find that video, but I'm going to show this piece right here. Hold on.
Her former boyfriend and the father of her eldest son, the renowned Al B. Sure, made a statement that has since been deleted but left fans astounded. Al B. Sure disclosed that Kim had been living with an unsettling sense of fear and unease in the period leading up to her untimely demise. In fact, he had encouraged her to take a rather drastic step by reaching out to the FBI for assistance. In this now
Okay, I just stopped it, so I'm gonna put it back on again because Instagram YouTube doesn't like us using a lot, so I'm gonna play it. Continue the video. Give me 1 second. Let's continue the video. Okay, let's go.
Assistance. In this now deleted post, Al B. Sure revealed a cryptic message that Kim had sent to him, which read, "Life imitating art, art imitating life." These words, once shrouded in mystery, now take on a deeper meaning. They hint at the possibility that Kim had been wrestling with complex emotions and a sense of impending danger. What's more, Al B. Sure shared that Kim had confided in him about other distressing matters, portraying a vivid picture of a woman in distress. Faced with the gravity of the situation, Al B. Sure urged her to take the crucial step of contacting the FBI, a move that could have potentially altered the course of events.
So, contacted the FBI. Guys, what exactly did Kim Porter know that I'll Be Sure, who later ended up in a coma, by the way, and who's still recovering now? What possibly thing did Kim Porter know about that she needed to report to FBI? FBI is huge. FBI deals with murders, with deep conspiracy type of crimes. They go after international criminals. FBI is huge. Why would whatever Kim told Al B. Sure scared him so much that she feared for her life, right? And that he told her to go to the FBI. He's not going to say anything. He almost died. So he's not going to say anything. He almost died. And why is this all surrounded? Why does it all appear to be surrounded by this young man's death? Again, it could be a broad assumption, right? I could just be making 1,001 assumptions, right? But again, it all started because of Cassie's lawsuit. Then you start connecting the dots with all these different people, and you start looking at all these different stories and all of these different secrets. And then you start picking that this person died. Diddy, according to Jaguar, right, out of 5 people that was in Uptown Records, Diddy, 3 of them is dead. I'll Be Sure is in the hospital, right? So you start looking at all these people, they had heart attacks. Some of the death, they said, is similar to the others. And then when you start looking around, out of nowhere, somebody's name comes up, a new person name come up, and I'm like, who is this guy? How did he die? Why is it such a mystery? And why is he connected to Kim Porter? And why did his text cause such an intense reaction? Of course, Diddy has been jealous. Right? Diddy is jealous. They said it. He's jealous of his girls. He didn't want, when there was a point where they said Cassie had a boyfriend. He invited Cassie to award show. He brought her boyfriend. He said that that the seats, the invitation was just for you. So he's jealous. But to break someone's nose over a possibility of your girl dating another guy, allegedly, while you were dating somebody else. Is it easier to think that that passion that was in the room that caused him to break her nose had to do with him feeling betrayed with her dating Shakir Stewart, or was something happening between Shakir Stewart and Diddy? And if something did happen between Shakir Stewart and Diddy, did Diddy have a video, or somebody had a video that they were going to blackmail this young man? Or was he devastated by what happened to him, that he felt that he needed to take his life because they were threatening to release the video? Is all of this connected somehow, some way? That's what I want to know. Is this young man's death connected somehow, some way? Was his suicide connected to Diddy? That's what I want to know. Or is it all, like everything else, just a pure coincidence? Far-fetched. Just a coincidence. You know? Illuminati. Conspiracy. Is it all conspiracy? When you start connecting all these stories, all these people, and there was a friend of his, I'm trying to figure this out. There was a friend of his who said if he finds out that he does not believe that he killed himself, you have people who saying that he didn't even kill himself. And his friend said that if I will. Hold on 1 second. Oh my God, it goes into bigger the thing. Oh, there's something about a Kanye West photo with Jay-Z. Oh boy, Lord have mercy. Lord, I tell you. There is so much here. And the guy name is Richie Rich. Hold on 1 second. Let me show this video right here. Richie Rich was a friend of his. And let's go to 155. Why do I have 155? I'm trying to find Richie Rich, the piece about Richie Rich, because it doesn't look like it's on the 155, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. It is the video. It is the piece. Let me show you this piece. A friend of his. A friend of his. Everybody thinking that he was targeted, but targeted by who? Why? Why was he targeted? Let's go on.
Shakir didn't kill himself. Shakir didn't kill himself. That's all I got to say on that.
Horrible police work. Horrible police work was done around his death. And everyone just accepted that it was suicide. Anyone that really knows the man knows he's incapable of killing himself. There had to be something more to it. It goes a lot deeper than what we would ever understand.
Shakir loved LA. And I think LA loved Shakir too. But something fishy happened somewhere along that line and shit got switched up.
You know, I guess you could say there's probably a bunch of other stuff that we'll never know. The BMF stuff was rumored. The stuff about LA, ain't no telling what else he was going through. People trying to, I know there was talk that some people was trying to kill him or like new information.
He was being followed. Cars parked outside his house. His phone was being tapped.
I want to stop it to give it a few minutes because I don't want to my Instagram to be impacted. But as you guys can see, a lot of people are saying that he was being followed. His phone was being tapped. He knew things about other people. He knew things. There was a part you saw the clip where they said that they have a videotape of him. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's play a little bit more.
There's a lot of people in a position to gain, maybe not gain financially, but definitely gain. So who knows? It's still up there. I would like to know.
If I do find out what happened, it's going to be some more dead bodies. Tell them that. Yeah, tell them I said that.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. So that's a lot, guys. That's a lot. I wonder if more people will look into the story, God rest the soul of Shakir Stewart, to see what actually happened to that young man. It's a tragic story. His death is still a mystery. But there's so much different conversations around his death. There's so much different allegations. There's so much, and a lot of it is connected to Kim Porter, and a lot of it is connected to Diddy. And a lot of the stories surrounding that story, some of the parts are in Cassie's lawsuit, Cassandra's lawsuit. If you pick some of the actions that was there, it could be related to that story. But I go on to just wonder, if we start looking deeper in the story, will there be other death? And with the death that are shown, because it seemed like everything is about sex with these people. Like everything is about sex, whether it's a freak off, orgies, blackmail, everything about sex. And now you have the component of homosexuality is in it. Are there other people being killed out there because of their sexual preferences? Are people being blackmailed because of their sexual preferences? In the book that was being written, would there have been some question about it? Was if Mr. Stewart did not kill himself, was he killed to keep a secret that had to do anything with sexuality, with homosexuality? Because the reason why I bring up the whole homosexuality part of it, because these guys was having sex all over the place, and they were probably having sex. Like, there's a lot of stories. Even now, they talk about all the girls they had and stuff like that. There's two things that stress them out. If there's any allegation of them having sex with underage people, which was again, which are under the law, and homosexuality, those are the only two things that freaks them out. That's the only two things. So let's say, and again, I showed you a receipt where somebody said that they had a video of him, right? Meaning Mr. Stewart. Could it be possible, just in the far-fetched our resident in our mind, that the reason why Kim's nose was broken was not because he was jealous of Kim and Shakir relationship because he was jealous of Kim? Could it be that he was jealous because Kim was dating the guy that he liked? I'm talking about Diddy. Could it be the blackmail had to do with Diddy in the videotape? Could it be that he got killed because he was ashamed of the relationship? Could it be that the reason why he lost his job in L.A. Reid is because of that relationship? Could any of this has to do with anything that has to do with Diddy and homosexuality? That's all I'm asking. I know I'm opening up a can of worms, but I'm wondering. God rest the soul of that young man. I hope there's no more stories that comes out, because every time I start looking at a different angle, another name come out, another mystery, another thing that I'm digging into just to look and see what the hell is happening in the world. What the hell is happening? It's all crazy. I would like to end by saying there is nothing wrong with a person lifestyle. If you are a LGBTQ in the LGBTQ community, that's fine. If you are a heterosexual, that's fine. The only thing that's wrong is predatory behavior, or sexual assault, going after people that's underage. That's wrong. That should be condemned. But anything else that other people do, they are, and it's consent, then it's consensual adults. They could do whatever they want to. Of course, let's not talk about our white supremacists, the story that I told earlier about these people that are out here actually trying to tell other people how to live their lives, where they're having crazy situations in their own bedroom where they feel that they have a right. The Zigglers have a right, for Moms of Liberty have a right to have threesomes and orgies, etc., but yet they begrudge everybody else and talk about LGBTQ community as being like perversion and stuff like that. And then the husband of the founder of Moms for Liberty, or one of the workers of Founder Liberty, decided he gonna take what he wants and go to a woman's house and are her. Let's not talk about that, but let's talk about that. Let's really start looking into these stories and see where the predators are. And if it so happened to be Diddy that's the predator, then we need to have a conversation about that. If he's not the predator, and this is just alleged, because I'm not the one that's telling these stories, I'm just looking into it, I'm just reading it. If he had nothing to do with it, and he's not a predator, and that poor young man just killed himself just to kill himself, God rest his soul. I hope that he find peace and stuff like that. If he had nothing to do with Kim Porter's death, God rest her soul. I hope she find peace. I only want him to address the situation of what he has been a part of. That's why I believe what Cassie has to say. But with saying that, though, every time a new name falls off the bandwagon, every time I hear a new name, I'm going to dig into it. I'm going to see what kind of stories is out there, what's being said, especially behind this man, because this story is too big to go down quietly. Anything that anybody does evil to another person needs to be addressed. That's how I feel about it. So anyway, that's the end. That's the end of my little investigative of today. God rest the soul of that young man. And that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to my new episode. And I hope you guys have a great day. Okay, bye.